Okay, rule 4. Is life always fair and good? Well, you're all over 10 years old, so you all know the answer to that. Stinking thinking says getting angry helps when things are unfair. That's one of the first coping mechanisms that people will grab when life is unfair. Anger. Tantrum, anger. No matter what age they are. If they don't like injustice, they'll have a tantrum. I'm not the favourite. So I'm looking for things to not be equal. Looking for things to not be fair. So now I've decided I'm not the favourite. They are. It's not fair. I want one too, but what I want doesn't matter. You know, they always get what they want. I never get what I want. How many of you know a child who underneath the surface, it's not fair, is just right under there, and it pops out quite a lot? You've got to be careful of them because they want to become the household policeman. They want to go around making sure that everything is just. His banana cake is bigger than mine by 2 millimetres, you know, or you let her pat the puppy longer than I had the puppy. You know, everything is measured, everything has to be fair. But how many of you know that life is not like that? You know, we don't get dished out a fair amount of suffering. We don't get dished out a fair amount of trials. You know, one person can seem to cruise through life and fall on their feet and always end upright, and someone else has obstacle and grief and obstacle and grief. You know, life is not fair. It is not dished out nice and evenly for us all. And we need to help our children understand that. If they expect life to be fair, they're going to be angry, cynical, bitter, and very disappointed. Now, justice is built into us at birth. We are born with this justice monitor, and we like it to be just. But we have to learn to be more flexible in that. And we have to learn, e.g., we have a legal system, not a justice system. Even calling it a justice system is probably wrong. We have a legal system. Sometimes we get justice, sometimes we don't. And if we make a God out of justice, and that has to be the priority, and we have to get even, and it has to happen, then we're going to spend a lot of our time very angry, disillusioned, and cynical. And so we want to help children accept that life is unfair and life can be unjust. That's the reality of it. But you know, most adults do their best to be fair. God is always good and always fair, even though life isn't. Sad things happen to good and bad people. You know, we often say, well, I don't know why these bad things happen to those good people. Well, it goes both ways. Good and bad happens to good and bad. When things are unfair, I can fight or be angry, or I can accept the disappointment and let it go. You know, one truth coach I gave to someone the other day is, you know, letting go isn't difficult unless you need the practice. You know, we do need to learn to let go. It's practice. And that's what you're trying to do when you say to your sibling, your child, share that with your sibling. You're trying to say, let it go. Give them your toy, let them have a turn. We're trying to teach them, let it go, let it go. We want to teach them that injustice is not unbearable, disappointment's not unbearable, it's just unpleasant, but part of life. And learning to be okay when I'm disappointed will make me a great person. Why? Because I don't need anger if I can cope with disappointment. Anger is disappointment energy gone wrong. We all have disappointment energy, and we have to decide what we're going to do with it. Whether we're going to turn it into something destructive like anger or something constructive like my life rules. This was built partly on my anger at seeing children medicated and cliche answers and just breathe deeply or listen to more dolphin music or whatever it is, rather than something that's really practical and really helpful, and also parents being disempowered and not empowered, and parents feeling hopeless. So this came out of my disappointment energy in wanting to help, wanting to do something, to be part of the answer, not part of the problem. So do something constructive with it. Life is not always fair and not always good, and the sooner we can accept that, the better. And the best thing we can do with our children, I always say 1, 2, 3, do this. Listen, validate, paraphrase, and then when you can see that they feel heard, when you can see that they have let go of some of that energy, then impart your wisdom. Don't impart your wisdom before then, because otherwise they just say, you never listen to me, you don't hear me. 1, 2, 3, listen, validate, paraphrase, then they're ready to hear what you've got to say. Instead of no, that's dumb, don't think like that, that's stupid, no. They won't hear you, they won't hear what you've got to say. You can take the power out of an emotion just by being heard. How many of you know, women will know here, all I want to do is be heard. I don't want you to fix the problem, darling, I just want you to hear me. And then I feel okay. But if you go, oh, well, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Did you do this? Did you do that? Not helpful. We just want to be heard, don't we? We just want to be heard. It makes us feel valued, and children are the same. So, rule 4, help your children cope with the injustice of life. We're all going to experience it. And forewarned is kind of forearmed.
One thing I know is that God